Welcome, everybody, and Happy New Year. And welcome to the new rebranded DTC Live webinars. We're now DTC Live on air. And I'm really excited to kick off our new month, new year, with having the amazing Connor joining us from Cozy Crew Club. And we're going to be talking all about the brand today and how you've built up the brand and earn all of these parents' trusts in doing so. So I'm really excited. Thank you for joining us. A little bit about DTC Live for those that don't know. So we are an events and a community built for brands, and we work on these three pillars around education, inspiration, and connection. So we're all about bringing together the brilliant minds of founders, entrepreneurs, people that work in e-commerce, in the tech space, in retail, and we bring them together through all of our different events, the conferences, workshops, dinners, retreats, you name it, we put them on. So yeah, Connor, let's get started. I'm so happy that you've joined us. Do you want to tell us a little bit about you and the brand?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me today, Rebecca. I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited to share the brand and the brand story with everyone. And hopefully people can resonate or learn from my story as a brand builder and bringing Cozy Crew Club to the market. So if anyone doesn't know, Cozy Crew Club is a luxury baby brand. We do everything from newborn clothes up until age 5, and we focus on sustainability in organic bamboo and cotton in our rompers, tracksuits, blankets. And we really like to create a connection of being cozy and making parents feel warm and invited to our club, and by creating lovely, luxurious clothes with a touch of personalization. So I'm really excited to share my brand story with you guys today and hopefully give you some tips and tricks along the way.
I know, and I'm actually a customer as well, so I can kind of vouch for how gorgeous all of the pieces are for my boy. We love anything with bears on, especially.
Yeah, bears is at the forefront of our brand. So I'm so glad you like the products and the prints as well.
So let's get started, and I really want to kind of dig deep into kind of how you've managed to build up the trust, how you've managed to grow so significantly over the past few years. So yeah, I'll let you kind of give us a bit more background on the brand and kind of how things got going.
Yeah, sure. So Cozy Crew Club started with the name, which is kind of incorporating everyone really. So I like to see it as the crew is us. So that's everyone who works here at Cozy Crew Club. The club is our customers, our parents, and together, Cozy is a feeling that we kind of all share together. So it's nice, like community we like to build. So Cozy Crew Club was actually founded in 2020, just before COVID. So I kind of started it as a side hustle on the weekends, and I had a full-time job in marketing. And during COVID, obviously COVID struck, and I decided to take Cozy Crew Club as a full-time opportunity because I got put onto furlough. So during that kind of period, I learned a lot more about e-commerce and brand building online. And my background previously was international business and marketing, so kind of using my previous knowledge and teaching myself online. And through COVID, we kind of grew as a brand. And what originally started as just a baby blanket, we then grew into baby clothing. So coming out of COVID, I got the offer to go back to work. And I kind of thought, you know what, I've really enjoyed doing what I'm doing so far and building this brand and treating it like my baby 9 to 5. So in 2022, I decided to say to my employer, no, I'm going to continue this full time, continue building this brand. And since then, we've grown significantly, which has been amazing. We've grown our customer base. We've grown a real loyal following and community on social media. And we've had some amazing celebrities and partnerships endorse our product, which has been amazing along the way. So it's been a real roller coaster starting from a one-man band to now a big team. But I'm excited to share some more tips and tricks and kind of what we've done along the way. So this is our slogan, which is the crew is us, the club is you, and cozy is the feeling that we all share.
I love that. That's amazing. I love lockdown stories where it feels like a real pivotal moment for so many entrepreneurs and brands, and kind of how they started, or how things so significantly changed in that time from someone that was just kind of getting going with their journey or thinking I'll just have a little side hustle, to then it really turning into a fully fledged business either during or post COVID. It's been a real before and after shift for so many.
It definitely has, and it's been a blessing in a way. And it was a time when everyone was on their phones and no one else had anything else to do but online shop. So it was a very lucky time for us to grow.
Yeah, definitely. So let's kind of talk around the customers part, because obviously, you know, you're not a brand unless you've got customers, and I suppose it's so difficult to actually grow a brand if you've not got that following, that cult following, and that community that you're building. So how has like the feedback that you've got from parents influenced design and functionality of creating new products?
Yeah, sure. So I'd say parents and our community is definitely the foundation of everything that we do here at Cozy Crew Club. So from the very beginning, we like to guide ourselves by like real life experiences shared by our customers. So we really value their feedback. So for instance, we had a romper. And it only included one zip, and we got some feedback from a customer saying they would love it to have a two-way zip. So we really like to take customers' feedback and apply it to our products. So we now have a two-way zip, which makes it easier for the mums, for the late night changes and things like that. So listening to our customer and our community, and what they want is a great way for us to kind of gain their trust and get feedback for our products as well. So we have a Facebook VIP group, and inside there we'll share some new exclusive design prints, and we'll get feedback from the parents saying, well, what do you think of this print? Or if we were to include this shape, what do you think of this? So parents have really highlighted the importance of what they want to buy, and whether it's soft or breathable, or what kind of core materials they want. So these insights really help us to not only improve our kind of existing products, but also inspire new collections. So I'd say listening to our customers ensures that products fit and enhance the parents' daily lives for their baby.
And how are you kind of fostering engagement in like that VIP community group that you've got? Is it all around like products and updates, or do you share anything else in there?
So we have incentives for people to come join the group. So we'll always include exclusive discounts, which they can't get elsewhere outside of email. And we give them extra early access ahead of email and even ahead of SMS. So they'll get sneak previews or, extra discounts. So for example, for Black Friday, we gave VIP group members a couple hours extra than the email list. So they kind of sit at the top. So we have a good way. That's how we kind of get them to come to the group, and to kind of incline them to participate really and get some more benefits.
That's amazing. And how are you, like, you guys are all around like creating that comfort and that connection. How are you weaving that sense of coziness into like the brand experience beyond product? Because obviously when we are shopping online, we don't know until you've made that first purchase, you've got that first product. So how are you kind of making that feeling known for new users?
Yes, so basically, coziness obviously is attributed in our products, but beyond that, I would say we try to try and foster like a sense of warmth and cozy connection through our branding. So we've tried to create a warm, noodle tonal feeling with our creams and our beiges. And actually, when we did some research into the meaning behind colors, browns and creams are actually known for like soothing and embracing. So the color scheme and palette scheme for the brand kind of really makes people feel cozy. And then from then on, we include it in whether it's like a heartfelt caption on our Instagram post, or when we're packing an order, if we like to add a little handwritten note. So we aim to make every kind of interaction with our customer feel personal, special, and cozy, because our end goal is to kind of create a community where parents feel not only valued but also supported and part of the Cozy Crew Club family, really.
You can definitely see that. Like, I've obviously follow you guys on social, and like I see when you respond into like, what new babies being announced and things, and you can genuinely feel like that you actually all really mean what you're saying, and you are really excited for that person. I think it is really heartfelt and genuine, and that does come across like on a really difficult angle through like social, because it's not easy to kind of get that feeling across, I don't think.
It can be very difficult. So it's a good way to kind of connect and show that we genuinely care, and we're there for them every step of the journey, really.
And have you got any like customer stories that you can kind of share, or anything where you've kind of people bought the products and how that's kind of impacted their life?
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of the most touching stories, which really stands out for me, was from a parent whose baby was born prematurely in hospital. So she shared how one of our bamboo swaddles became like a really big comfort for her little one during the long stays in ICU. And she described how the swaddle kind of soothed the baby, but also was like an emotional comfort for her as well, because it kind of had the personalization and the name on, and she knew her child was wrapped in something soft and safe and made with care, because obviously we use bamboo. So it kind of helped us reassure her that stories like this remind us of that the impact of how we can help families, even in the darkest moments, when they're worrying about being in ICU, etc., and that we can provide any sort of comfort in them little moments anyway that we can, really.
Yeah, no, that's lovely, isn't it? Especially when you know that your customers are getting that same feeling that you're trying to ignite with people.
Definitely.
And let's talk a little bit about like the sustainability aspect. I think like in today's e-com landscape as well, like it's got to be quite prevalent on site that you are a sustainable company, or that you care about how you're manufacturing or the impact that you're having on the world. I don't think consumers nowadays are as into that no care, like we're just out there to kind of sell products. And I suppose especially in kids wear and children's wear, like it's even more important. Like, I want to make sure when I'm dressing my boy that he's in comfy clothes, and I'm not just kind of feeding into like the fashion landscape, which can happen. So how do you guys adapt to make your products more eco-friendly?
Yeah, so I would say the thing with sustainability is it's not just a trend that's happening for like a week or a year or so on. We've built it into our everyday kind of motto and our kind of principles as a brand. And as most families want to make choices not only for their children but the next generation after that and the planet. So I find when a parent has a baby, they're now worrying about their next generation, and they want to make sure that the planet for their baby is more sustainable. So at Cozy Crew Club, we've kind of prioritized using materials like organic cotton or bamboo and eco-friendly dyes to kind of reduce our environmental impact. So we're trying to do what we can for the next generation. And our commitment also extends to not just the product, but then sustainable packaging as well. So we've moved to biodegradable mailers, and we aim to kind of eliminate plastic anywhere that we can if possible. So I kind of see sustainability as not just a single initiative for us, but it's embedded in how we approach not only our design, our sourcing, but also our production as well.
Yeah, there's so many different steps I imagine that you've got to think about as
Definitely.
like a brand owner in that like logistics. And is it something that you've evolved on as well, like from where you started to where you're at now? Is it something that you keep looking at?
Yes, definitely. So as the brand has grown, we've kind of learned a lot more along the way about sustainability and fabrics. Because obviously, when we first started, we just had one product, which was a microfiber blanket made of polyester, and we've come such a long way from that first product to now learning more about ethical and sustainable values. So it's definitely something we've really incorporated significantly the last year. And as a company, as we've grown, we've known that we have to kind of make an impact in this area. So
Yeah.
from where we started to where we are now, we're definitely much more conscious and more sustainability, which I'm really proud of.
Sometimes you've got to kind of make a bit of like a statement with it as well, haven't you? And lead the way for other brands to kind of show them that it is possible to have a successful business, but also remain sustainable at the same time.
Definitely. And it will affect things like price or premiums and things. But as long as you're communicating with the customer the benefits of some of these products and the effects it's going to have on the environment, and also the long lasting better effects it will have on their baby, people sometimes are willing to pay that extra more premium price for these types of products, knowing the value that it's going to bring to the parents.
Yeah. Have you had any like challenges that you've faced as you've trying to maintain like the luxury feel, but also make
Yeah,
it sustainable? Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, especially with bamboo. We really like using bamboo because obviously it's sustainable practices and breathable. But some of the issues we have faced with it is sometimes bamboo can be a little bit on the thin side. And obviously, with the UK being a lot colder during the winter months, a lot of customers have noticed that the garments are a little bit on the thin side. So we're now developing a more thicker bamboo, which has a stronger, more heavier GSM. So it's more weighted. So then it kind of increases the thickness of the bamboo, so it adds that extra bit of warmth. So there are challenges you face along the way when you're trying to be more sustainable, but it's all trial and error and trialing, and also getting that important feedback from the community to see how we can improve the product. So that's been great to get that feedback.
Yeah, that's good. Because I suppose as well as you washing things so often with a baby as well, like that's probably another big test that you've got to think about as you creating new fabrics, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah, washing is so important. And one thing people don't actually know is if you are buying sustainable things like bamboo and organic cotton, it's actually really important what detergent you use to wash the products with. And if you do
Um,
use the correct ones, they will last longer and they'll be much softer and they'll be more durable over time. So it's also important to pair these sustainable products with sustainable laundry detergents as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. And
Yeah.
that sounds like a bit of a brand collaboration that could happen somewhere.
Yes, well, we are in talks with a brand at the moment which are creating specific for babies. It's in the development stage. They're creating a kind of laundry detergent for sustainable products. So we're looking to partner up with them at some point this year.
Oh, keep your eyes peeled, everyone.
Definitely.
um, and is there any other like sustainable product innovations that you're particularly excited about that's happening?
Yes, definitely. I don't know if you've heard of modal. So it's a sustainable fabric that's both eco-friendly and luxurious. So it's derived from like a beech tree pulp. So it requires significantly like less water to produce compared to traditional fabrics like cotton. So um Skims by Kim Kardashian, they're using a lot of modal in their pajamas and in their kind of tracksuits. So it's got a lot more softness and durability, so it makes it ideal for baby products, especially with comfort and practicability. And it's got the sustainability side of it. So we're looking to include or incorporate modal later in the year, perhaps with some new lines and stuff. So it's definitely a new kind of fabric that we've not explored before, but it's obviously trending for other brands, and it's also got that great sustainable factor. So we're looking to try that out this year.
Oh, nice. And how are you like making sure or trying to like educate your customers on all of the efforts that you're putting into the products that you're creating?
Definitely. So I'd say education, especially with sustainability, is key to fostering the trust with the parents and also empowering our customers to make sure that they're also making informed decisions moving forward. So we use our website and product page. We really try to inform them on the product page what kind of features are of bamboo and organic cotton, social media, and also in our welcome email flow. On email, I think that's really important to capture and tell them in the welcome flow how we're making sustainable efforts and sharing everything from our choice of materials to our manufacturing process. And then we also like to create really engaging content on our socials, so like videos and really nice infographics, kind of explain the benefits of sustainable parenting and moving forward kind of realm. So just being, I think, transparent and accessible. We aim to kind of make sustainability an integral part of Cozy Crew Club and the experience that parents are kind of getting in that sustainable realm.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot that's kind of going on there. That's definitely one area to keep you busy. Now this one's always like a really exciting topic, and I love talking about this with you because I think like you've done such an amazing job of really mastering influencer marketing. Like I think it must be for brands, just getting started either with this as a channel or just in general as they're creating a brand, a bit of a minefield. And you've worked with some massive influencers, haven't you? Like Mrs. Hinch, Molly May. How did all those partnerships happen, and what impact does that have had on like your growth?
Sure. So this topic for me is really personal, and I get really excited about it because it means so much to me because it kind of links back to what I said before about trust and building a community. So these partnerships that we have had with celebrities like Molly May or Mrs. Hinch, they've all been organic and authentic, which is really important to me. So we've never actually paid for any partnerships or any collaborations. It's all been off the back of their own impact of using our products or just kind of loving our products, which is amazing. So both Mrs. Hinch and Molly May are both interesting stories. And so Mrs. Hinch started back in the day. So she was probably our first big influencer who shared our product, who we got a huge response from, which was amazing. And so my kind of tactic when I first started the brand was to DM everyone and anyone who had a baby just to try to get them to see the kind of product or just get a message from us. And I remember, I think Mrs. Hinch, I used to send her a message every hour, unsend it, and then resend it.
Oh my
So
god!
it was like at the top of her DMs, and this must have gone on for like 2 or 3 weeks, every hour, every day, just constantly resending, unsend. And then eventually she opened the message because it went to the top, and she replied and she said she would absolutely love to receive the product. So we sent the product, and then what we kind of knew was the product spoke for itself. So we knew she'd love the quality, and then we went that extra mile to personalize the product in a unique way to her. So we know that she loves llamas and that type of thing. So we added personal touches, which we knew would pull on the heartstrings of the influence. I think that's really important to create a connection with them, to show that you're authentic, and you're not just there to send a product and get them to wear it. You need to build or foster some sort of connection. And they obviously fell in love with the products, which was amazing, and they shared them with their audiences, which was fantastic, not only for us but also for our brand recognition. So it was the trust that they've built with their followers as well that then translated directly to credibility for our brand. So it transferred over, which was amazing, which obviously led to a surge in visibility. So people knew who the brand was. That picture in the top left of Molly May and Bambi with our tracksuit, that's a pivotal picture for us. Like, we have it pinned on our Instagram because people, as soon as they come into the profile, it's a good recognition for us. So it obviously increased visibility, website traffic, and ultimately sales as well.
Mm-hmm.
We can now use that moving forward, like I say, in a scene with and things like that. So definitely these gifted influencers has helped us reach a much wider audience of parents who might not have ever found us or known about us. So it's great we can get into all these different niches of mums who have all got different types of audiences, whether it's a fitness audience or a cooking audience or a home audience like Mrs. Hinch, and we can tap into them and they can discover us in a new way.
And what's like the message that people should use then? So if there's obviously two different ways, isn't it, that you can approach an influencer, either the gifted route or the paid route.
Yes.
Like, what you've not paid for any of these. Like, what's that message look like? What should people test or trial to try and get influencers?
So I would say that the message that you send to them on DM is really important. I'd say it has to be very personal, and it has to start off with a hook, because I'm sure you're aware on Instagram DMs you can always preview like the first kind of line. So if you kind of create a hook that can kind of get them to want to open the message. So I think we start with something like, Molly May, we just thought we wanted to tell you about, and then ... and it kind of make like they're inclined to open the message because they're like, oh, what does it say inside? And then once, the funny thing is with influencers, once they open that message, it opens up that connection between you and them, because on Instagram, I think once the message has been opened, you're able to contact them much easier because it moves from their drafts, I think, or their request messages into their next inbox. So if we can get them to open up the message, it kind of puts
phase one complete.
Yeah, phase one. So I'd say have a good template and have a good message that kind of pulls on the heartstrings, and it's genuine for your brand and matches your brand aesthetic. So we always use the bear emoji, the cloud emoji, that that matches our kind of aesthetic and feel. And then obviously we never ever ask them to post or share the brand. It's just, we just say we'd love to send you the product, we feel like you would love the the quality, the feel, and we never push and say please can you share it, or please can you tag us. And once they've received the product, we don't then again push them to say thanks, I see you've got the product, can you please tag us. We just let them do it off their own merit, because we don't want them to feel pressured into sharing the product if they don't feel it's a good enough or valuable enough product for them to share with their audience genuinely.
And do you ever do like any kind of follow-up once they've received it, like hope you love it, or
yes,
you get a bit of that?
So we like to keep them informed if it's on its way. So we'll say like we use funny language like a very exciting parcel on its way. Just stuff like that, and then we'll give them the tracking. And once they've got it, we just say something like, just wanted to let you know it's arrived. We hope you love everything. If you need anything in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out. And it kind of builds that trust with them. And hopefully we can continue that down the line further on and send them more products in the future if we keep that line of communication open.
And do you normally then wait for them? Obviously, if they post, that means that they do love the products, which is amazing. And then does that kind of give you that go ahead on, right, we'll send them another lot, or do you wait for new collections to be launched, or like what's like the process first post?
Yeah, so we normally wait. Obviously, with baby clothing, they grow into different sizes. So we normally wait till they hit like the 3-month or 6-month mark. And we're always monitoring what kind of worked well for us, which influencers, we got great new followers off or orders off. And then we know to make sure that we are sending them new collections, as you said, or the next size up. and so on. So it's just continuing that kind of connection, and also like pivotal moments like their first birthday. So we were maybe a part of their birth, and we got them a blanket for their arrival, but then also recognizing their first birthday a year later and sending them another kind of gift or something a year on, things like that. Are really heartfelt. And now we're kind of doing a lot more seasonal stuff. So we'll make sure we send the Christmas pajamas, the Valentine's pajamas, the Easter pajamas, just make sure we've got a little bit of seasonal touches in there with them as well.
And what kind of software are you using to track all of that information? Because that is a lot. And that's for every single person that you want to work with as well, isn't it?
It is a lot, yes. I have explored software to look into it, but it is very expensive and very pricey. And we are still only a small business, so we actually rely on Excel. So we do everything traditional in Excel. We have the name of the influencer, their followers, when they shared, what did they share, how many followers did we go up by, kind of how many orders were placed, etc. And then we can kind of have a traffic light system, whether we know whether to send to them again or not send to them. But there are many advanced softwares you can get. I think Call Square is one, where you can get more insightful information and things like that. But it is really pricey software, and we're still only a small business, so we kind of do it all ourselves in house. But it's the exciting part as well, because I can't wait for the feedback to see how stuff's worked and how how can we improve it better for next time.
And are you mainly Instagram for like your influencers, or have you explored other channels as well?
So I'd say 80% is Instagram, and we are slowly growing on TikTok, which is fantastic. But TikTok is slightly different. It's more micro influencers and more kind of UGC content. So it's more day-to-day mum bloggers talking about the brand. So we are slowly growing our influencing on TikTok. It is slightly different because obviously TikTok likes you to drive the traffic towards TikTok shop and not your own website. So it is a bit challenging on there, but it is a great way again to get the brand out there and just get a bit of recognition. So we are trying to increase that on TikTok ever so slightly.
Yeah. And are you mainly like, when you're looking for these new influencers, are you going after micro, are you going after macro, or are you doing like a bit of a mix?
So we do a mix of all three. So I would say for micro, Instagram is really good at suggesting on the For You page, because obviously it knows what we like, babies, pregnancies, and stuff. So it's really good at suggesting micro influencers to us who are trending, which is really good for micro. And then medium to big influencers like celebrities and A-list people will rely heavily on Google Alerts. So we have Google Alerts set up for announcements of anyone being pregnant or any news articles about anyone expecting. So we can really be on the ball and add them to our list and make sure that we're welcoming them to the Cozy Crew Club when they're having the baby. So it's good to find a good mix of all different types of influencers. I think it's not always necessarily the person who's got the biggest following that's going to create the best sales, because they might not have a good connection with their audience. So sometimes micro influencers can work better because they have a genuine organic connection with their audience. And yes, they may have smaller followers, but them connections are much more harboring and more beneficial to the brand than anyone else, really.
And what ways do you see that influencer marketing like evolving and changing over the next few years? I think I remember when a few years ago I had a little brand, and I remember like looking into like influencers, and some of like the prices were just like astronomical for what some of these like big celebrities wanted to charge. And I think a lot of people thought, is that on its way out? But I don't think it is anymore. I feel like it's done a bit of a 360 turn, and like influencers are much more accessible. And I don't know if that's because of the rise of the amount of users on the platform or new platforms coming. But what are your thoughts on how it's changing?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's always changing. So obviously, back in the day, in 2020 and 2021, influencer marketing was huge. Like you could put anything out there, an influencer could put anything out there, and people would click the link, they would follow the brand. But now I think people are a lot more, over the last few more years, people have become more aware that that they are either paid partnerships or they are kind of paid to promote that product. So it is evolving a lot. I'd say, but then again, the last year, like you said, it has crept back up again to where influencers have kind of become at the forefront again, but they've become more accessible in terms of I think they are slightly more affordable, and you are getting more content from them. So it is always evolving, but I think authenticity and niche connections are becoming a lot more important. So like I said before, we can see micro and nano influencers playing a much bigger role in the future, as their slightly higher engaged audiences can translate into more meaningful connections with the brand. So I think moving forward, we plan to focus on more like long-term collaborations with influencers who genuinely align with our values and can help our story in a relatable way, I think.
Mhm.
So definitely, yeah.
And what's like the longevity, I guess, of like a customer or an influencer with the type of product that you've got? Because you'll only go up to a certain age. Like,
Yeah.
is there a plan for like increasing that, or is it a plan like, oh, well, we've kind of maxed out where we can, if they have another child, then obviously then we'll be
Yeah.
on that journey again.
Yeah, so we have obviously mums who have a second child, which is super exciting. So, for example, I think Tiffany Watson just announced her second pregnancy, which is exciting. So we love to welcome them back into the crew again when they have a second baby. But in terms of sizing, we currently go up until age 5. But this year we have expanded our pajamas for Valentine's Day and for Easter up until age 7 this year. So we are trialing new ages. So we would like to really go up to age 10 if possible in the future. But it is tricky within kids wear because I feel like once kids, especially boys, get to age 6 and 7, they start to have their own mind of what they want to wear. They want to wear football kits
Like
or
you say more like dinosaurs and
yeah,
all those like different things.
it's hard to put them in what you want to put them in. So it is a struggle. So we are trying to expand that age reach up a bit more. But we did introduce last year, which was really exciting, which was our first matching tracksuits for mum and baby. So we are now doing adult collections, which is fantastic. So mums can now match with their babies, which is a huge trend at the moment. So it's nice to have that adult range coming in, and we hope to have more adult products in the future under the name Cozy Crew Club and kind of build the range out. But we have to do it carefully, whereby we meet the needs of the customer and what they want and what trends are for the older kids, etc.
Yeah. And has there been, like, we've talked about all the positives of like influence marketing, has there ever been a campaign that you've done where it's been like, oh, it's not quite hit the mark, or it's not really what we was looking for, or they don't really align with us as a company? Like, how did you kind of adjust from there, or any kind of big learnings that you took away from it?
Yeah, definitely. There's always going to be obstacles along the way, especially even in influencer marketing. So we've definitely had instances where certain collaborations just didn't generate the kind of engagement we anticipated. So we've sent to someone with like 5-6 million followers, and we thought if they share this is going to be like jackpot. And the experiences have taught us that it just didn't align with our kind of brand, and they weren't the kind of niche that we kind of needed. So yeah, they had a great following, but their following was mostly male, 80% male, etc. So they had no resignation to click through to a baby brand or shop a baby brand. So we are learning slowly to kind of make sure that the audiences kind of do match. So we've had a few bum ones where we've sent to big influencers and we've got a really poor response. But I suppose it is trial and error. And when we're doing stuff on a gifted basis, we're lucky because we don't have that big outlay of cost. So if we do get a loss from an influencer who, A, doesn't share, or B, doesn't get the response that we want, it's okay because, it only costs us the gifted products, not a huge, partnership
Yeah.
of a couple £1,000. So these experiences are definitely taught us to prioritize alignment over reach. So make sure if they've got a big following, that make sure that they align with who you are and what their reach is. Just because influencers, if they have a large following, it doesn't always necessarily mean that the audience is the right fit for the brand. So since then, we've kind of improved our vetting process to kind of focus more on like engagement rates, audience demographics, is it male, is it female, and just ensuring that the partnership just feels authentic and impactful. So definitely there is kind of hurdles along the way.
And we've got like a huge celebrity on the screen there right now. Courtney Kardashian.
Yeah.
No, we're not definitely not going to miss this question out. How did that happen? And what happened?
Gosh, yeah. So I think on my bucket list since I started the brand was I need to get a Kardashian in Cozy Crew Club somehow and somewhere. I will do it along the way. And last year when I found out that Courtney was pregnant, I was like, right, this is my chance. Like, yes, I need to get in there and make sure that we kind of get them something sent and they get a feel for Cozy Crew Club. So I knocked on every single door, sent every single DM, no response, no response. And then I finally got an email. I emailed everyone from Courtney's team, no response, no response, because obviously they're such high profile and they must get so many different emails and brands reaching out to them. And I finally got hold of an email to her partner, Travis Barker, and it was his assistant. So I thought, right, if I can't try Courtney, I'm going to try the other side. So I finally got a reply from his assistant, which was fantastic. So I thought, right, we've got an in now. I don't care. And at the start, when I put it on my bucket list, I said, I don't want, like, if they don't share the product or I don't see it, it doesn't matter to me. Just as long as I can get the product into their hands and just let them know that they've got our product and our brand and they're experiencing it. And if I don't see it or they don't share it, it doesn't matter to me. I just want them to get the product. So we had an in. So I thought, right, this is great. We need to make sure that what we're sending is really aligns with who they are, and what they stand for as a couple. And obviously, it was their first baby together. So we went all out in creating something really special for them. So obviously, their relationship is based around a lot of black love hearts, the black and white monochrome kind of skater feel, rock feel. So we created a custom sleep suit, which kind of had black love hearts on and drum kits, because obviously Travis is a drummer. So it was really specific to their kind of connection and, their kind of background and what they kind of resonated with. And then we also sent a blanket personalized with Baby Barker, amongst some other goods. So finally got everything together. I remember my mum actually helped me bundle it all together. We put a nice bow on it and we sent it on its merry way. And I didn't hear or see anything for probably like 5 or 6 months. And I thought, it's fine. I just wanted to get it to them. That's all that mattered. And then I got a phone call, probably like it was last year in February, and my friend said, "Have you seen the latest episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians on Hulu on Disney?" And I was like, "I've not watched it yet." And she was like, "Your product is on the show." I was like, "Stop it! There's no way." So I flipped over to Disney, and lo and behold, there was our products. The mum, Chris, and Courtney were folding up the blanket, the sleep suit in the nursery, and you could see it full on. They were holding the product, folding it, and just to see it on their show on the Kardashians was absolutely amazing. And just that brand recognition to know that A, they received the product, but B, that they're using it on a daily basis and they love the product was absolutely incredible. So that was another tick off my bucket list. So I was really happy with that. So when things like that come around, it really excites me just to know that they have such a big reach, and to be seen on, not only to be seen on the show, it was incredible for us. So it really helped us boost our visibility and credibility, because their show is shown in 30, 40 countries worldwide. So just to be spotted on there was amazing. So it just showed like that any brand can reach anyone. There's no door that's ever closed. You can find a way in somehow.
And well, who else could be possibly on there now? Like, who's the ultimate or the next ultimate influencer that you need to get?
So this year, my goal is Manchester based. It's Michelle Keegan. So I adore her. And obviously, with her being from Manchester and we're a Manchester brand too, I would absolutely love to get hold of some stuff to send to her for her and Baby Wright and Mark. So hopefully we can get something sent to them this year. And that's number one on my bucket list this year. And that would be amazing.
I'm sure you'll do it. You've done Courtney like anyone else. You'll smash it, no doubt.
Thank you.
And just to kind of like change a little bit from here around, I guess, kind of like what's next in terms of like the growth. You guys started pretty small. You've grown quite big. Was there a specific turning point, I guess, when you was like, actually, I think this could be bigger than what I was initially anticipating?
Definitely, yeah. I think there was a few turning points. I think the first turning point was for myself, was when I realized that I can't do this all myself. Like, it was getting too much for me. Like, I was doing the email marketing, I was doing the paid ads, I was doing the social media, I was doing the customer service, I was doing product development, and I thought, this is getting too much all for me to do on my own. I needed to start kind of outsourcing. So that was a big turning point when I realized that I can't physically do this all myself. I need to have a team behind me who can help take the workload off, and I can kind of drive the brand forward and focus on what's really important to drive the growth. So that was probably the first turning point. And the second turning point was when we started to see repeat orders come through. So people who have not just bought once, but they're coming back and buying a second or a third or a fourth time. Like that is a big turning point for me because we're kind of building that lifetime value of the customer and
Yeah.
making them actually, that solidifies to me that they are part of the Cozy Crew Club because they're coming back and they feel welcomed and they want to buy the product again. So that was another good turning point. And I would say just getting the heartfelt feedback from customers. So their feedback on how they've helped impact their baby's life, or the comfort or the personalization touch, or friends and family gifting, and just word of mouth is always fantastic turning points. Like I think it was there was another, I had a friend was going to holiday, she was going to South Africa, and she was sat on the plane and she sent me a photo of some random person sat in the seat in front, and they had a Cozy Crew Club blanket, and I was like, how is my product all the way on this plane going to South Africa? It was crazy.
I've had weird stuff like, not that, I mean, it's more thingy, like for you guys, because obviously you send the product, but we had some like custom rainy city bags made, and we just like would see them like crop up everywhere. You know, if someone's been to an event, you're like, oh my God, like
That's my brand.
So I mean, we've talked about like influencer marketing being like a real big chunk of like what you guys do. What other channels are you navigating, or what other channels are quite prevalent for your growth?
Yeah, so Instagram obviously is our number one. Secondly, coming in fast is TikTok, and this has grown a lot for us last year. So I think last year I became dedicated to TikTok, and I thought I really needed a strategy to grow on that platform last year. So what I did was we hired a TikTok content creator. So I made sure that we were posting on TikTok every single day to boost that engagement, to kind of get us out there more and it be more impactful on TikTok. But as well as that, we did other things on TikTok. So I made sure that we set up a TikTok shop. So I wanted to make sure all our products were available for people to shop on the TikTok shop platform, because it's a new way of shopping now, through TikTok shop and through TikTok live. It's kind of like a modern day shopping channel, I like to call it. The shopping channel is like in the palm of your hand. You can watch people live and present and showcase your products, and then people can shop at the click of a button. So I really invested heavily in TikTok last year, and we actually got on board a TikTok live host. So she would come in twice a week and she would host lives here in the office. We got a nice little backdrop made with bears, and she would come in and talk about the products. But it really fostered a really good sense of community on TikTok, because she was 4 months pregnant at the time when she started the live. So everyone was tuning in every week for
Yeah.
updates on her pregnancy, and it was really relatable to the audience. So I'm glad we kind of improved and invested in TikTok, because it's definitely a platform that has a lot of growth, particularly with TikTok Shop and TikTok Lives. It is becoming a lot more saturated over the last year, but it's just a new way for people to discover the brand. And I think with TikTok, you can show a lot more authenticity. On Instagram, it's very,
Polished and
polished. Yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
polished. Whereas TikTok, we can just show behind the scenes fun stuff, funny memes at the office, doing jokes, and it's very like raw, and who we are, and who everyone who works here at Cozy Crew is, and what we stand for. So it's definitely a platform to definitely be using. And I do kind of want, I'd say on my bucket list this year, to kind of be a bit more present on is perhaps Pinterest, or there's some other good social media platforms out there that we should be a bit more present on. So, but I'd say Instagram and TikTok are the main two, really.
And are you doing any like paid traffic? Are you doing any Google ads, paid
Yes.
socials? Yeah.
So we do paid ads currently on Meta and on Google at the moment. So there are two key platforms. We haven't run any paid ads on TikTok yet, because we just want to perfect our strategy for Meta and Google this year. And then once we feel really perfected in that, then I think we'll feel confident to explore into TikTok ads this year. But I think paid ads are really important, especially for retargeting. So especially a lot of people discover our brand through influencers, but they might not shop immediately. So if we've got some good retargeting ads set up through Google and Meta, it's kind of re-engaging and getting them to come back and shop with us. So I'd say paid ads are also important.
Yeah. And let's just talk a little bit about on-site, and then we've got a couple of questions that have come through, so we'll move on to them. So talking about like AOV, lifetime value, like what strategies have you guys tried that have worked really well for increasing those metrics?
Definitely. So average order value We recently incorporated an app called Rebuy. So that's been excellent for us. It's helped boost average cart value. So, for example, if someone is shopping a romper, it will then suggest, hey, you need to add this matching hat to go with the romper. And then it will say, oh, is this a gift? Maybe add a gift box and a gift card. So that has really helped to boost our average order value. And Rebuy is good because it has a lot of AI integration as well. So it can suggest to the customer what they think would be a good fit for them. So that's great. And it's also helped us, it includes a progression bar in our checkout, which is great. So we can encourage customers to spend more and get some benefits from Cozy Crew Club. So, for example, the free shipping threshold is £65, and then we might give them a free beanie if they spend over £100. So we like to give that incentives back. So Rebuy has been really pivotal in helping boost our average order value. And then through lifetime value, that is on our bucket list this year to improve it even more. But in the past, I would say email marketing has been really good for lifetime value, especially with baby clothing, because we can kind of uh, we like to capture if it is a pregnant mum who's coming to our website, we like to capture what their due date is, so we kind of know what sizing they're in, so we can send them reminders. Do you need the next size up? Can we get them to shop the next size, etc., and come back and shop with us again, which is really important. And then recently, to increase lifetime value, we just introduced a loyalty scheme, which is good. So people can earn points the more that they shop with us. So then that again will increase our lifetime value. If they recommend us to a friend, they'll get some extra points. If they follow us on Instagram, they'll get some more points, and then they can come back and shop with us and increase that lifetime value of being part of Cozy Crew Club. So I think obviously new customer acquisition is important, but it's important to build on them lifetime value customers as well and make sure they stay with your brand and you support them along the way with everything that they need, really.
Yeah, you need to keep them sticky as well, don't you?
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much. They was unbelievable insights, and I'm sure everyone managed to get a few pieces of like golden information that they can hopefully take away and kind of go ahead and implement. I think there's so many different channels that people need to look at, and you've really, really mastered that influencer marketing piece, and so it's amazing that you've been able to share some of your wins from there as well. So thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. And if anyone wants to find Cozy Crew Club, we've got our website, and I've recently got a new Instagram and TikTok called Connor the Founder, where they can follow my journey as a founder as well.
Oh, I love that. I'll definitely be following. So we have had a couple of questions come through. One of them is the first one's around like the sustainability piece. So have you found sustainability more or less of a challenge as you've scaled?
So I would say sustainability, we've definitely found more of a challenge as we've scaled, just because we're trying to explore so many new different fabrics, and we're catering to more size ranges and more products. So, for example, if we have our bamboo sleep suits, as we've grown bigger, we want to now incorporate that bamboo into our pajamas. So we need to make sure that we're introducing it into each kind of product as we grow. So there's a lot of testing, a lot of sampling that goes back and forth to make sure we perfect each range to include that sustainability. So as we've got bigger, it definitely is more challenging. And as we grow, obviously, we're increasing our shipments and our carbon footprint, etc. So it's important that we're monitoring that to make sure we're trying to be as green and impactful and sustainable as we can. So yeah, I think that's also been quite challenging as we've got bigger.
Yeah, I bet. And as you continue to grow, there's always going to be like new challenges that you're going to face as well that you're going to have to overcome. But that's what keeps things interesting, I guess.
Yes.
And the next one again is around sustainability. So great to hear about the sustainability initiatives integrated into your products, Connor. Could you share more about how these efforts align with your overall company ethos and principles too, please?
Yeah, sure. So basically at the start of the brand, we have our brand Bible where we incorporate all our kind of targets and goals. So sustainability and ethical is really important. So in making sure that they align, we always refer back to these values and make sure that if we are introducing a new fabric, does it match that value and that goal? So for example, obviously a product might be polyester, and our manufacturer might say, well, we can do this cheaper, and if you're worried about cost, maybe we do it in polyester. But when we look back at our ethics and values, it might not align because polyester cannot be decompose as easy. It'll go into a landfill, and it takes many, many years to decompose. So that wouldn't align with our ethos and principles. So it's always referring back to that and making sure that they align with A, the manufacturer, and B, the product. I think when we do explore new manufacturers, we're always making sure that they also follow ethos and principles too, whether that's in their testing, if that's in their materials, and also their workers, to make sure that they've also got the right ethos and principles that we have at Cozy Crew Club as well.
Because I suppose once you really like commit into, you know, being a sustainable company, then you've really got to go. It's not just a little dip in and out, is it? It's really got to kind of take over and encompass everything that you're doing with the brand.
Yeah. Everything, like even down to like the label that you put in the back of the garment, you know, is it sustainable? Can it be recycled? So we are slowly moving from labels in the back of our clothes to tagless labels, because it's obviously better for the environment. So some of our items have a cotton label sewn in the back, but a lot of our sleep suits and pajamas are now tagless, to stop that waste, and obviously making it more harder to break down the kind of materials later on for sustainability. So you have to think of every factor, from the label to the base fabric, everything.
And I bet some stuff you're like, oh my god, how does
yeah,
one thing that we need to think of.
I've learned so much.
And then there's just some lovely comments as well. Like someone said, love Cozy Crew, baby clothes, excellent packaging and service. And someone else has put, so authentic throughout your approach towards the brand, and the influencers love it, and great insights. So yeah, I think everyone enjoyed that.
No, it's been fantastic. And I love sharing my story. It's fantastic. And hopefully some people learn some tips and tricks for influencers or AOV along the way, to improve their brand as well.
Definitely. Well, thank you again. That was amazing, and a perfect way to kick off the first of our series. So yeah, hopefully everyone tunes into the next one. But thanks again, and we'll speak